Hey Tommy, how you doing tonight? This is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Thanks for the email. Love the feedback. Really glad you're digging the service. Obviously, that's the goal, to make Elliott Wave understanding to everybody that's out there, to because it doesn't have to be as complicated as it has been made in the past. But again, thanks for the email. We're going to take a look at a couple stocks for you. I'm going to take a look at Square, also renamed Block recently, SQ, and then as NIO as well, NIO. Two that we've taken a look at before, but we will update them here. So Square was incepted back in 2015, a little bit of chopping around, and then gave us a very large, clear 5-wave advance to the upside. That was followed by an ABC pullback that reset the chart back in 2020. Off of that low, again, a very large, nice, trendy up leg, followed by what looks like a counter trend pullback in 2021. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this action in 2020. So obviously a very clear, trendy, nice 5-wave move, was very one-directional. Once it completed in a major way, and it has turned south more recently. But in early 2021, it turned sideways and gave us what looked very much like counter trend movement. And then we had this sharper downside action more recently, which appears to be a C wave, the final leg of an ABC pullback. Now on this larger time frame, 125 is significant, and that's because it's a 61.8% retracement of this 5-wave advance that played out in 2020. So if this pullback is just a correction of this 5-wave move here, we would expect it to find a low in this area. It can move a little bit below, but largely we would expect it to find support at 125, and it needs to indicate that this is just a correction of this up leg and not the start of some larger degree time frame. So that is a level to keep in mind. Now, if it can turn up and move above 218, that's going to be a bullish development, but of course, that's pretty far away from our current location at 141. So that is more just a level to keep in mind on the larger time frames. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the 2021 pullback here. And again, it looks like a counter trend move based on the way it started, just that ABC action towards the beginning, an A wave down, a B wave up, and then the sharper, what looks like a C wave decline. Now, the best labeling I can find of this C wave decline: first wave leading diagonal, second wave correction, and then all that sharp downside action off the late October high would be a third wave advance. So we would expect a little fourth wave bounce, and then a fifth wave down to complete, again, ideally not much below 125. I think you need to see that leg complete and some trendy upside action to begin before you really have a sense of a low being in and before this becomes a good buying opportunity. During this entire decline off of August high, we have not seen trendy upside action. So we want to see that change to indicate a change in the trend. We haven't seen it yet. Again, on a larger time frame, 218 is bullish. But on the shorter time frames, we just want to see some trendy upside action to give the impression that this larger ABC pullback has completed. So there is that one. Let's go ahead and move on to NIO now, NIO. Now, there's two different ways to look at this, and we're going to look at them both. Now, in this first chart, we're looking at a linear scale where every box is a 5-point move. In this scale, the pullback that we've seen in 2021 looks very sizable. We see this super sharp up move in 2020, clearly a trendy move, but there's very little doubt that this pullback here looks like a correction of a completed 5-wave move. Now, if we change this scale to be a logarithmic scale where every move is the same percentage point, it changed the outlook quite a bit. So this is that. That's a look at this here. In this scenario, you can see that this pullback doesn't look quite as grand. Obviously, it's very substantial, but it could fit better as a fourth wave correction to offset this second wave correction in an incomplete 5-wave advance to the upside. I want to present this because I like to present every opportunity that's realistic, and both of them are. There's no great way to determine which is actually playing out. Now, if you look at this fourth wave correction, it's retraced about 61.8% of this third wave advance. That's a possibility. Now, if you come out and look at a retracement of this entire up leg, hasn't quite reached a 61.8% retracement, but under either scenario, we can come up with an idea, and that's that this needs to find a low in the area of 25. It shouldn't move much below 25 to stay bullish on all the larger timeframes. If it does, then we have to consider this the start of a larger degree decline, not just a correction of the 2020 up leg. So that's something to keep in mind. As the move progresses, we should have a better idea of where it fits, if this is just a fourth wave correction or it is in fact a correction of the entire 2020 up leg. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the 2021 pullback. And once again, I can find more than one good way to label this. The first labeling here shows a complex ABCX ABC correction, complex double correction, ABC X ABC. Under this possibility, it looks like we could be getting closer to an end of this pullback, but it's not the only way to label it. Let's look at this way here. This would call the initial down leg wave A as a 5-wave move, a sharp B wave, and then a C wave that is probably nowhere near completion here. The reason I present both of these guys is not to add confusion, but rather to show you that there's a key level that we can watch that would be bullish under either scenario, and that level is 37.50. If price moves above 37.50, it would negate this possibility altogether, and if price moves above 37.50, it would imply that this big pullback is over. So I think 37.50 is the key right now. We would love to see it move above 37.50. That would look more like a buying opportunity. Currently, it does not look like a low is in, and I'll show you why. Let's zoom in on just this down leg right here in the last couple months. This takes a look at that move. It looks like a 5-wave move that is incomplete. Now, the fact that it's a 5-wave move could be bullish because we expect the ending patterns of corrective pullbacks to play out in 5 waves. You can see a first, second, sharper third wave, fourth wave, and then looks like the start of a 5th wave down. Now, the two things to take away here is one, this looks like a 5-wave move that's nearing completion. The other is the recovery that we've seen in December looks like a counter trend move, which is a pretty clear indication this down leg's not yet over. Lower prices have to be expected before it's said and done. So I think those are the two takeaways. Again, we need to see NIO trade a little bit lower. Doesn't look like a low is in yet. Ideally, from there, we can start seeing some trendy upside movement with a move above 37.50 looking like really the bullish indication that would be a buy signal for us. So Tommy, I hope that's helpful. Again, thanks for being a member of TrendLizard.com. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.